Hello students. So today we see about the fourth unit of the software engineering unit is subject. So the fourth unit is software testing and maintenance. So the what is software testing? So the software testing is the process of evaluating software to identify the defects and ensure it meets the requirements. So the goals are detect the error and improve the software quality and the very functionality and ensure the reliability. So it work for the real-time cycle for the. So first is the requirement analysis, the test planning, the test case development, the test environment setup, the test executions, and the test cycle process. So they are the stages in the software testing life cycle. So the real-time example is used to the ATM machine testing. So first of all, the requirement is the ATM should be dismiss the cash, and the test case is the insert the card and enter the pin and withdraw the money. So in the test case, the execution is the check if character cash dispensed. So they are working for the real-time software testing model in the 18 missions. So this is the stages for the software testing process. First the equipment and the development and the testing and the error detection and the quality software. So the good equipment give to the good developer and design processes. The design can give to the coding and the coding give to the testing implement process. So the testing can give to the error detection of the software development model. So error detection give to the good quality software in the software environment. So why software testing is important? So the defects yearly. So if any error comes in the software development yearly, it can detect these simple methods. It improves the software quality and ensure the software reliability, reduce the maintenance cost, and improve user satisfaction. So testing due to the several roles play in the software development models. Next, internal and external view testing. So what is internal view? So internal view is the system coding and logics inside of the program. That is called the internal view. So example checking program logics and the code structure. So next is external view. So external view is the output of the program. So what is the output? So the behavior output of the structure. So it focus on the system functionality. Central code focus on the intersection of the code. So example is the checking input and output behavior. So the software system can be divided by the two parts. First is internal behavior and external behavior. So internal due to the code structure, and external due to the user behavior. So next we see to the white box testing. So what is white box testing? So in white box testing, it examines the internal logic and the code structure. It also called the structural testing and the glass box testing. It due to the logic of the program. So what is the logic of the program? It is to the loops and the conditions and the condition control paths and the program logic. It due to the input. So input due to the program code structure. So due to the output. So it is a test internal path of the programming methods. It is this called the white box testing. So in example for the this plot diagram. So first of all start the algorithm start. It will declare the age is the 18. So it due to the condition checking decision making process. So if you could put on the age 18 plus and you can go to the eligible and due to the before 18 below 18 the is not eligible. So that is the basic white box testing models. So last of all we post the so next is the basics path setting. It is one of technique in the white box testing method. So it ensures that every independent path in the program executed in the at least once. The steps are in the basic for testing methods. So first we identify the control flow graph. Next calculate the cyclomatic complexity. So next identify independent paths. To create test case. So we see the flow diagram. First we start. We give the A. So A represent the B and C values. So and B and C represent the D values. So D is the end of the value. That is called the flow graph. So it will be the also called to the flow chart also. So next we see to the control structure testing. So the test is different from the control structures in the program. So there are types in the three types. So first condition checking and loop testing and data flow testing. So condition is the check for the given logical and conditions right or wrong. Next is loop is the condition can repeating or some incremental method or interface used for the looping methods. So data flow is used for how the system structured and work for the control structure testing. This is the main major role in the control structure testing process. So next we see to the black box testing. So it is the external model. So the black box testing focus on the software functionality without knowing internal code. So they only know to the software behavior and output of the programs. So the tester checks to the input and output behavior. For example, input user name and password. The expert output is login successfully. So that is called black box testing. The input is the software system. So the output is the real-time environment. The code is the hidden. So we see it in the diagram. So the input is go to the black box testing. It give to the output. So example, the college login system. So what is input? Username is the user and password is the same type of method. So the output go to the login successful update. They are so the two kind of operations only. So testers only check the functionality, not the program code. So example, what is the functionality means? The login successful, the login failed. They are the functionality. So the code are username and user password. So difference between the white box and the black box testing. So first of all, see the features of the white box and black box testing. So first knowledge of code. So white box testing they need code for the coding because the white box testing need a logical structure and a logical methods for the code. So the black box testing. So what is black box testing? Did you record for the not recording product? We only record for the functional logic. So next we focus on the internal logic. So only focus on the functionality only. So next to the performed by developers. So the white box only functional in the developers only. The developer can put the right to the code and give to the logical methods and the input outputs of the white box testing. So black box, so working for the testers. So what is the example? The path testing and input output testing. So next is the regression testing. So regression testing is a new changes to do not affect the functionality. So if we change for the new changes in the software development model, it should not affect for the existing functionality. That is called regression testing. So the example is the after fixing a bug, you test the entire system again. So first the original system and code modification and regression testing and very old functional working. So that is called the regression testing model. So next we see the unit testing. So the unit testing checks the individual modules or function usually performed by the developers. So the example is the testing login module separately work for the system. So software system can be divided by the multiple modules. So module 1, module 2, module 3. It can be tested by individually. That is called the unit testing method. So next we see the integration testing. So integration testing checks to the interaction between the modules. So the example is the login module plus database module. So login is the user, database is the server. So module A, module B, module C is combined model. So it integrated with the testing. So combine and function checking with the integration testing model. So next validation testing. So the validation testing work for the ensures the software meets the customer requirements. It focus on the are you building the right product. So the example for the checking system according to client specification system. That is called validation model testing. So next is in the system testing model. So system testing the complete the integrated system. They have four types. First performance testing and the security testing and the stress testing and the usability testing. So the performance testing is include to the how the system perform, the software can work for the long-term environment. And security, how to the future of the system software model. Stress handling is the how kind of users can handle the stress in the software development process. So usability testing is the how many users will work for the same time or can work for this model. That is called the system testing. So we see to the all modules integrated and the system testing and they complete the system verification. That is the process of the system testing models. So next we see the debugging. So debugging is the one of the error finding model. So if an error occurs in the software model, debugging will help to the finding and fixing the error in the software. So there are four steps. First, identifying bug and locate the error and fix the code and retest the system. That is called debugging. So error found and identifiers and fix code retesting. So retesting due to the re-code of the model. So next is software implementation techniques. So next the software implementation techniques. So they have the four kind of model followed in the implementation processes. So first is coding practices and the refactoring and the maintenance and the re-engineering. So what is coding practices? So if we start the software development model, we can divide by the multiple models. The multiple model behave to the same kind of coding practices due to the each individual syntax and semantics for the coding methods. So next refactoring. So refactoring work for the rearrange the software implementation techniques and the maintenance. So the maintenance is important method for the software developing process. So the maintenance is the if you regularly follow and update for the software development models. Next re-engineering. So the old model work for the upcoming new generation. That is called the re-engineering. So we see about the first point, the coding practices. So the coding practice work for the best coding practice improve the readability and maintainability. So the coding is the practice made to the read and the maintenance function in the software development. So example is the proper intention and the meaningful variable names and the code commands and the modular programming. That is called coding practices. So next is the refactoring. Refactoring is the improve the code structure without changing functionality. So example, see this example. So before the values, we can declare the three variables. So a equal to 10, b equal to 20, so c equal to a plus b. So that is called the or declaring the values. So next after we can change in the refactoring method. So sum equal to number one plus number two. So it's kind of a method using for the changing functionality only, not the values. So the benefit is improve the readability and reduce the complexity, easier maintenance. So next regression testing. So regression is the retest the all functionality and regression is selection and the prioritization of the test cases. So example we show the in social media is Instagram app update. So new feature and story reaction. So regression testing is the check for the login still works, message works, upload photo works. They are work for the backend process the Instagram testing models. So next is software maintenance. So software maintenance the modification to software after delivery. So they have four types: the corrective maintenance. So next adaptive maintenance and the perfective maintenance and the preventive maintenance. So corrective means the data is validated or the valid data for the software. The adaptive is the data will adapt for the software development model. So the perfective means the data will be performed in the basic kind of method in the software development processes. And the preventive is the important the security of the data process model. So the maintenance of for the software development making process. So next we see to the re-engineering. So what is re-engineering? Re is the look for the existing software with the new software. So it improve to the existing software qualities. So they have three kind of goals. First is the improve quality and reduce complexity and increase the maintainability. They are work for the re-engineering process model. So next BBR model, business process re-engineering. So BBR improves to the business process using technology. So example, old business process and analysis and process we redesign, improve business design process. So that is called the old business model. Nowadays come to the analysis and work for the real nowadays future plans, we redesign the models to improve for the business process designs. That is called BBR, business process design engineering. To improve the business process using technologies also. So next is the re-engineering process models. They have five kind of steps. First of all, the inventory analysis and the document restructuring and the reverse engineering and the code restructuring and the forward engineering. So they are for this five kind of methods. So the existing system is what is the existing model and proposed model in the current generation. So reverse engineering work for the what kind of alter we can do in the old software. So the system can analyze the new kind of methods. So the forward engineering will go for the improved system in the engineering process model. So next is the reverse engineering. So what is reverse engineering? It can work for the analyzing software to understand design and structure, which called reverse engineering. So example is the understanding legacy system code. So that is called the reverse engineering methods. So the forward engineering. So the forward engineering means developing a software from the design specification. The requirement can go to the design, coding, testing, software. So that is called forward. So if you create the software in the new environment, you can collect the requirement, design the processes model, and make the design model, and give the coding, and the coding give testing. The testing give to the final software output. That is called the software models. So the example forward reverse modeling. Concept to product is the hardware. Product to concept the reverse. So requirement, design, implementation. This kind of method work for the forward and reverse engineering methods. So thank you.